Hello and welcome to the Golden Hour, a content series from us here at the Horizon League. Why the Golden Hour? Well, we certainly won't take up a full hour of your time, but it refers to the name of our league, the Horizon, where the earth meets the sky and where the student meets the athlete. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Golden Hour podcast. I'm Kobe Mosley, a Clinic Fellow here at the HL. And here we have Betsey Walkowiak from Detroit Mercy. Betsey, thanks for joining. Can I tell people what you do at Detroit Mercy?
Yes, first off, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be a part of the podcast. So at Detroit Mercy, I have the honor to work with our student athletes in the capacity from when they're being recruited to the moment they graduate. So I work in academics and compliance, as well as student athlete development. I am the primary liaison for SAC, which has been so fulfilling, being on Horizon League SAC, National SAC, and then now being a liaison. It's kind of taught me to see from a different perspective, which has been super fun. And then, as I've mentioned previously, academics and compliance in the evolving collegiate landscape, just trying to, continue to learn and educate myself on those changing rules.
Definitely, yeah. So we'll talk about kind of how you got to where you are today, but we'll kind of go back to your starting point at Green Bay.
Yeah.
Kind of what led you to go to Green Bay and swim and, kind of talk about your experience as an HL student athlete first.
Yeah, so I was blessed to be recruited in 2020, actually, February 2020. I committed to the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. I honestly had never heard of the institution, being from the Metro Detroit area. And my dad was actually a huge Green Bay Packers fan. So when he found out I was being recruited, I was like, well, I guess we have to go on a visit now just so we could see Lambeau Field. Definitely. And then committed there and absolutely loved all 4 years I was there. Great experiences, great networking. The culture there, I truly feel is like unparalleled to any experience I could have had as a student athlete. And the University of Wisconsin Green Bay has a connection with the Packers. So I was able to job shadow individuals that worked for the Packers, which was super cool. And that kind of was my segue into wanting to be like in sports and be like a sports administrator. So that, just the networking I had there and the opportunities that presented themselves really like led way to my passion, which is working in sports.
Definitely. And like you mentioned, you were a part of the HL SAC while you were a student athlete too. So how did that play a part in kind of building your journey to the career you have now?
Yeah, so I started Horizon League SAC my sophomore year, and then freshman year, I was a part of 1HL when it first started out in 2020. So that was super cool to be a part of that new group. I will say that the experiences I received as being a Horizon League SAC member, as well as then becoming the national SAC member for the Horizon League, was just, I can't sum it up enough to say that it was like a privilege and an honor to represent all the different levels. And the Horizon League SAC group specifically, and the changes that happened, the mental health grant coming out of SAC and just all of that. Kate Fagan was another great example. Just the Horizon League, I think, does such a good job at promoting different resources and experiences for their student athletes.
Definitely, yeah. So since I've been here, I definitely, of course, it's emphasis in every conference and league, but I think the Horizon League really does care about, making sure student athletes have a voice. And I'm not just saying that because I work here, but like I wasn't a student athlete, and I can really tell the impact that you guys make on what we do here.
Yeah, no, it's almost like why I stayed in the Horizon League, going from Green Bay to Detroit Mercy is just the Horizon League truly is, and I've said it time and time again at NCAA SAC meetings, it is the best conference, best league in the NCAA.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that, of course, and you're a big part of that. So kind of, you said, making your transition from graduating from Green Bay and going to Detroit Mercy, what are some of the things you're doing on a day-to-day basis?
So as far as my Horizon League SAC experience?
As far as your current role with Detroit Mercy.
Yeah, so I graduated with my undergraduate degree 2 years early, and then pursued my master's in sport exercise and performance psychology from the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. I knew I wanted to be an advocate for mental health and student athletes. So my role now at Detroit Mercy, being in academics, compliance, and student athlete development, I've kind of honed in on my leadership skills and just, all the great experiences I had at Green Bay, just bringing that to another institution in the Horizon League and kind of honing in on my master's degree and leaning into that sports psychology, advocating for student athlete mental health and well-being. And I know the NCAA is doing a great job right now with that, with the NCAA holistic student athlete model. Mm-hmm. So just really making sure that I could do everything in my power to give the student athletes at Detroit Mercy the best experience, and hopefully they stay all 4+ years.
Definitely, yeah. If you could give a pitch to any student athlete on why they should think about joining SAC or just being involved in any capacity, what would you say to them?
I will say to jump right into institutional SAC. All 3 levels that I've been a part of have taught me different lessons. I would say at the institutional level, it's very focused on community service and outreach in your local city. And since the Horizon League is in the metropolitan cities, it's great just to get out in the community and help underserved communities or underrepresented communities. Mm-hmm. And then at the Horizon League level, being able to advocate for your school and kind of share and collaborate on ideas. And then at the national level, just kind of, what's going on in the NCAA, how does the Horizon League fit into the NCAA at large, being a mid-major institution, but knowing our landscape and how student-athlete advocacy could help that.
Definitely, yeah. Well, thank you. You've shared a wealth of knowledge, not only about you, but about how important SAC is for our league and for across the NCAA. All right. So yeah, before we end here, I want to do a start, bench, cut. So I like to do this thing in every podcast. So we'll kind of do a theme to one here for you, so swimmers. So we have Lily King, we have Katie Ledecky, and Simone Manuel.
Okay, I'm going to have to start Katie Ledecky because she's broken her own records time and time again.
Yes, that's a great start for sure. Winning a lot of races with that one.
Yeah, all 3 of those athletes are insane, so this is really hard. And then I'm going to have to bench Simone Manuel and then cut Lily King. But they're all so good.
Yes.
That was really hard. Probably the hardest question you asked.
Definitely. Anytime we do one with 3 good athletes, it's always tough.
Yeah, for sure. Tough. Especially Lily King being Indiana.
Oh, yes.
Native.
Yes. Man. Well, yeah, that's great. That's probably the best you can do. That's a great answer. Yes. So we'll take it.
Yes, thank you.
We'll check it in. Yeah, thank you so much, Betsey, for joining us today. And we're really grateful to have you in our HL community.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that ends another episode of the Golden Hour podcast. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Golden Hour. Be sure to follow along with all the Horizon League news and action on our social media platforms at Horizon League and at horizonleague.com. Are you hungry? Cluster Truck is Indy's go-to delivery and pickup kitchen. With always free delivery and over 100 menu items, there is something to satisfy everyone's craving. Hand-stretched pizzas, pad thai, tacos, salads, wraps, burritos, and more delivered directly to your curb. Delivering to Fountain Square, downtown Indy, Carmel, Castleton, Broad Ripple, Fishers, and more. Use code HLRadio at checkout to receive $5 off your next order of $20 or more. Order now at clustertruck.com.